Litecoin is perhaps one of the oldest altcoins on the market. In fact, many consider it to be one of the original alternative coins, silver to Bitcoin's gold. However, is this silver still all that shiny? My name is Guy, and what follows is my noble attempt to answer that very question. So, stick around. Now, without being a bore, as I know it's a chore, I do implore that you do your own research. This is not investment advice and is for your educational purposes only. And if you just happen to be strolling by the bureau, welcome, welcome. While you're here, you may want to tap up that subscribe button. It's a great way to keep updated with my latest reviews. Okay, all set? Let's get cracking. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're familiar with Litecoin. We all know it's an open source digital currency that offers global payments without the use of a centralized authority. For our purposes today, we're going to skip all the so-called sides of Litecoin and get right into the meat of the project. If you're not as familiar with Litecoin as you'd like to be, you should know that the project began in 2011, launched by former Google employee Charlie Lee. The project is a fork of Bitcoin's core client with a few slightly altered attributes. One such alteration is the algorithm through which Litecoin is mined, called Scrypt. Let's start there. Like Bitcoin, Litecoin is a proof-of-work coin. However, Litecoin differs from its Bitcoin ancestor in a few ways. For starters, Litecoin offers faster results with shorter block times, which take roughly 2.5 minutes compared to Bitcoin's 10. As a result, Litecoin provides lower transaction fees and faster transaction validation than you'll get on Bitcoin. The project does this through its mining algorithm referred to as Scrypt. When Litecoin mining started, the intention was to allow those who didn't have access to powerful ASIC machines a way to mine using their home computers and graphics cards. However, as time went on, specialized Litecoin mining computers with ASIC capabilities were developed, essentially eliminating profitability with a CPU or GPU. Because of the algorithm, block times and mining difficulty, Litecoin has a max throughput of 56 transactions per second. Now this is considerably more than Bitcoin's 7. Of course, it's worth pointing out that this is on-chain throughput. The hope is that off-chain solutions like the Lightning Network could dramatically scale this. More on that in a bit. Switching gears, let's take a moment and discuss an important event that occurred this year with the Litecoin project. It's halving. The Litecoin halving occurred in August of 2019, reducing the reward for each block mined in half. Many were watching the Litecoin halving event as there were theories that it would be a precursor to the Bitcoin halving that will happen next year. The theory was that after the halving, the reduction in block rewards would lead to a fall in supply and hence an increased price. It's basically a twist on the economic theory of, quote, stock and flow. As was expected, prior to the halving, hash rate skyrocketed. You also had a rally in the price of Litecoin as people were hoping for a continuation post-halving. That did not happen, and after reaching almost $140 in June of this year, the price fell in line with the hash power on the Litecoin network. This has left many wondering how Bitcoin prices will react around its halving. Anyways, that's another topic for another day. Let's now take a look at some of the other primary features of the Litecoin network. One technology that Litecoin is a particularly strong adopter of is atomic swaps. With atomic swaps, users can instantly perform cross-chain transactions. What does this mean? Well, it means you can trade your Bitcoin for Litecoin without the need of a centralized exchange. A little over 2 years ago, Decred and Litecoin were the first two projects that completed the first ever cross-chain atomic swap. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for more info on Decred, we have a video for that. So there are a few benefits to using atomic swaps. First, you remove the middleman, which is something the crypto community is all about. It's slightly illogical to rely on a centralized cryptocurrency exchange to trade an asset that is the pinnacle of decentralized technology. Yes, Coinbase is pretty simple to use, but they still control your trading while on their exchange. Secondly, it removes your funds from the potential hacks that occur on exchanges. If this year has taught us anything, it's that exchanges are still very vulnerable to hacks. There are countless examples. With atomic swaps, there's no need to send your funds to an exchange. It's done right from your own wallets. So it's wise for Litecoin to pursue atomic swap technology, but there are some challenges it could face. The problem is that atomic swaps are a fairly new technology. Currently, they aren't easily available to the general public. Nevertheless, Litecoin's leading man, Charlie Lee, is a big proponent of the atomic swaps and the benefits they'll provide. After all, he did perform one of the first ones on record. Another big piece of atomic swaps is the Lightning Network that I mentioned earlier. For those who don't know, the Lightning Network is the off-chain scaling solution that is being developed for Bitcoin. Litecoin views itself as one of the best coins for performing atomic swaps on the Lightning Network due to the length of time it takes to complete a transaction on its blockchain. Bitcoin transactions are slower and much more expensive than Litecoin, which means it's both faster and cheaper to complete an atomic swap through Litecoin's blockchain. Plus, once the Litecoin channel is opened on the Lightning Network, it will also allow for the exchange of Bitcoin. This means users can trade their Bitcoin without opening the channel on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, while this type of problem may not be a big deal to those who use the Lightning Network to perform a lot of transactions, it would matter to those who only need to complete a few operations. In this instance, Litecoin would be a much better solution for atomic swaps on the Lightning Network due to its cost-effectiveness and speed. Moving on though, another technological improvement that Litecoin users have been adopting successfully is Segwit. So let's take a look at that, shall we? Segwit, or segregated witness, is a technology that is intended to help mitigate the size limitation problems associated with blockchains. By freeing up space in the blocks, there is more room for transactions and hence faster throughput. However, that definition doesn't really do the technology justice, so we've included a link below if you want to read more about it. Based on a report released by Litecoin earlier this year, Segwit usage on the Litecoin platform has skyrocketed, reaching 75% in just a little over 2.5 years since it was first launched. This is a welcome change, as up until recently it hadn't managed to get past 50% adoption. Even though the technology was initially met with resistance, it has ultimately helped reduce transaction costs while also improving blockchain efficiency. It is also ahead of the approximate 50% Segwit that we currently have on Bitcoin, so top marks to Litecoin for that. One of the biggest challenges currently facing public blockchains is the increasing lack of privacy as envisioned by Satoshi. As a transparent ledger, Litecoin also faces this challenge. Currently, all Litecoin transactions are completely public. That means there's a lot of information that can be deduced from your transactions. Over time, this data could be used to track a person's wealth or purchases. So, Litecoin devs have been exploring ways to make it fungible, so similar to the likes of Monero and other privacy coins. One of Litecoin's improvement proposals, or LIPs, presented a few months ago was the implementation of the Mimblewimble protocol. This is a pretty advanced protocol that can obfuscate transactions and make them private. From a development perspective, the Litecoin Foundation is establishing a dedicated fund that will be used to sponsor a developer who is specifically working on the Mimblewimble code. So, things seem to be moving in the right direction when it comes to privacy on the Litecoin blockchain. But what is this Litecoin Foundation and how does it fit in with the broader Litecoin ecosystem? The Litecoin Foundation is a non-profit registered in Singapore that has a number of aims. Prime among these is the adoption of Litecoin across the world. This organization also works in tandem with the Litecoin core team while supporting it financially. The Litecoin Foundation is funded primarily through donations, along with 3 sponsor programs that attract investors. The foundation also works with a wide variety of payment gateways. This includes companies like CoinPayments, CoinGate, Travala, and so on. By establishing this type of development infrastructure and establishing key partnerships, Litecoin can quickly expand its user base. The Litecoin Foundation is also actively engaged in finding partners to work alongside the project's ecosystem development. Some are successful, some are not. For example, LitePay was highly regarded as a merchant solution that would rival BitPay. Unfortunately, that endeavour was shut down in March of 2018. Having said that, just a few months later, in July of 2018, Litecoin launched a partnership with TokenPay, a decentralized payment solution. The intent behind this type of relationship is fairly straightforward. Litecoin will aid TokenPay with its blockchain development, and in exchange, TokenPay integrates Litecoin into its merchant platform, allowing its users to make payments using Litecoin. So, the Litecoin Foundation is actively working to increase adoption of Litecoin, but is this having any impact? Well, let's take a look at some of the initiatives and partnerships that the Foundation and broader Litecoin community have been working on, shall we? There have been many examples, but perhaps one of the most recent is the Flexer platform. With its integration into the Flexer platform this past summer, Litecoin added more than 39,000 merchants to its already vast network. There are merchants across the globe that accept Litecoin as a form of payment, with most existing in Europe and the United States. However, there are also quite a few in parts of Asia as well, including Indonesia and India. These efforts are beginning to show signs of fruition, as evidenced by recent partnerships with major companies like HTC, UFC, and it also doesn't hurt that the cryptocurrency is an official partner of the Miami Dolphins, an American football team. While Litecoin does have an impressive number of merchants in its network, its daily on-chain transactions are average. Even though transactions have dipped a bit since the halving in August, they are still in line with what the network was seeing throughout 2019, which would suggest the Litecoin blockchain is still fairly healthy. Unfortunately, unique addresses on the network are not following the same trend. Since a large spike in August at the time of the halving, Litecoin is showing a bit of drop-off in these, especially in comparison to the first half of 2019. Unique addresses are an important metric for network activity and, more importantly, adoption. It shows how many people, merchants and exchanges have opened up Litecoin addresses over the period. Overall, however, on-chain data suggests that the Litecoin blockchain is relatively healthy. There has been an increase in large transactions, plus a slight uptick in the number of users who have held a significant amount of Litecoin for more than a year. Of course, some of these may be transactions on and off exchanges, which is a great segue into that topic. Litecoin is in a pretty fortunate position when it comes to market liquidity and exchange support. Given that it was one of the first few altcoins on the market, it has constantly been a staple cryptocurrency on exchange order books. As a result, Litecoin does over $2 billion a day in trading volume. If we were to compare this to other cryptocurrencies, it is the fourth most traded crypto on the market. It's also listed on some of the most popular fiat gateway exchanges in the world, such as Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, and many other local currency exchanges such as BitHump et al. This means a quick and easy way for merchants and users to convert their Litecoin into fiat. So, despite a lackluster price, Litecoin is still a popular coin amongst traders. That wraps up my review on the current state of Litecoin. Of course, chances are good that I didn't cover everything as the project is so expansive and has been around for so long. But I wanted to, at the very least, share what I feel are some areas of importance regarding the coin. The project is doing a lot of good, especially when it comes to adoption. There are tens of thousands of retailers that accept Litecoin as a form of payment. Moreover, if Litecoin is able to further increase both on and off-chain scaling of the network, then there is further incentive for adoption, particularly for payments. It's also encouraging to see that despite being one of the oldest blockchains around, Litecoin is still working on numerous improvement protocols. The work being done on Mimblewimble and atomic swaps is an example of this. Of course, the project isn't perfect and there are a number of challenges that Litecoin faces. For one, Litecoin is not the only altcoin on the market anymore, and it appears to be more single-purpose. There are a plethora of other projects that are developing some pretty innovative and multifunctional networks. From third-generation programmable blockchains to infinitely scalable DLT systems, etc. Can Litecoin maintain its niche? The other problem is one that will plague the project unless it chooses to go in a drastically different direction. While you and I know the difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin, there remains a fairly large contingent that isn't sure how the two projects differ from one another. Many tend to dismiss Litecoin as a mere Bitcoin copy. Now, I like the Litecoin project, but it does appear as if the project is positioned in Bitcoin's shadow. Many people call it silver to Bitcoin's gold, but right now, everyone is a gold bug. And that, my fellow crypto fans, is my review of Litecoin. But I need your vital input. What do you guys think of Litecoin? Any other coins that you guys are backing? Fill me in below. Finally, if this was to your liking, then let it be known. Your support is what helps this channel do what we do. Till next time, guys.